Incessant beeping lulled Staff Sergeant Ames back to reality. Dry eyes opened to witness the dimly lit, pockmarked drop ceiling of a sterile room. He moved to wipe the crust from his eyes, but only a weak, trembling stump responded. And then he remembered that the nightmare was real. "It was a Syrian missile strike," a voice said from the corner of the room. Ames shifted his head, but still couldn't get a good look at the man. For some reason, the voice and the ambience in the room sounded digital. It took a moment for it to register that he was hearing for the first time since the attack. Then the man spoke again. "They took a lot away from you that day, but you're a fighter, I'll give you that." "Who are you?" Ames croaked. His voice was sandpaper. As excited as he was to hear another person speak, the pain shooting at the dead ends of his stripped appendages dampened it. That was all his life had become since he woke from the medically induced coma 2 days prior. He was hardly used to it. "I'm the guy who's offering to give you your life back." The man rose and stepped into view. He reached down and touched a device attached to Ames's head. Then the world went deafeningly silent again. A moment later, it returned. "My name is David Graham. This oral enhancement technology belongs to one of my companies, and I'm in the business of rebuilding soldiers. What I can do for your hearing is only the tip of the iceberg. We can restore limbs, vision, speech, you name it." Ames swallowed hard. He choked down the emotion bubbling just beneath the surface. "I can't afford this," he replied meekly. Graham frowned. "I'm sorry, but I don't think you understand. The tech is already paid for. The only transaction I require is your continued service to God and country." Graham patted Ames's shoulder. "Who paid for it?" "I did. It's a passion project of mine to help veterans when I can." Graham took a step back and paced the room. He clasped his hands behind his back as he walked. A man of confidence. A depiction of a military man if Ames had ever seen one. "Patriotism was all but dead when I was a kid. The people who loved their country were forced into silence. The only people who wore their feelings on their sleeves were the ones trying to spark civil unrest. I lost my father to that madness. My mother followed shortly after." Sorry for your loss," Ames said. "I lost my father too." Graham's eyes darted towards Ames. "We have common ground, my friend." "I guess so." "If I'm being frank with you, I think we have a long way to go before we can build back our country into something reminiscent of what the founders intended. America isn't the same geographically or spiritually. We need to do better." "You sound like a politician," Ames said, as he struggled to sit up. Graham moved towards the bed and adjusted the incline for him before responding. "I do have a political background, but I'm not that guy anymore. I learned that to effect change, you can't be a cog in the machine." "So, what does this service you require look like?" Skepticism oozed from Ames's voice, but Graham didn't seem to notice. "I'm a member of an organization called The Order. We're a group of people who love our country and want to see her back on top. But the biggest issue we face is that laws were put in place to protect the crooked. That's why I left politics, the corruption, the betrayal, the hedonistic lifestyles. I was blocked before I was even sworn in simply because I was a man of faith." "The Order. That sounds a bit ominous." "What is the opposite of order?" "Disorder," Ames answered. "Chaos. It moves through everything and cripples it. The Order was created to halt the further demise of our nation. Our purpose is far from ominous." "And you're offering me a job to facilitate that purpose?" "I am, but I can understand if a person like you declined my offer."